Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for what we know will be an important hour of solid, factual information and guidance to keep us all safe. Hospitals are being taxed and are full to the max, and tomorrow there could be a car accident. Tonight someone unfortunately could have a heart attack. I mean, how do you administratively deal with that?
I think people are tired. Healthcare workers are tired. They're tired of the work. I mean, what Catherine sees every day, I don't think one can fully appreciate what she and her colleagues see. I mean, you know, as a physician, you can go and you take care of people, and then you have the ability to step away for a little bit. Nurses don't.
Exactly.
And you see people get exhausted, and you see people get tired of being bullied. I mean, I think we can't lose track of what's happening in our society to healthcare workers. And you see people going to other opportunities, and it's in the ICUs, but it's in the operating rooms, it's in the ERs, it's in our testing centers. This is really an impact across healthcare.
Here in Tennessee, though, we have one of the lowest rates of vaccination in the country. Why?
I think the onus now is on people at the very local level to provide people with the right information. I had a friend, so obviously I've been on TV and given a lot of talks about why we should do vaccines. I've reached all the people who are going to do that. But I had a friend who called me, and he said, this guy hadn't talked to him in about a year, and he said, you know, I have all these questions of vaccines, but I've reached a point now where there's half my friends I speak with, and they'll make fun of me because I haven't been vaccinated. There's half that I won't speak with, but when I speak with them, they're mad at me because I'm thinking about getting vaccinated. So I didn't have anyone to turn to. So he called me as a friend, forget any formal role I had, somebody who's obviously somewhat knowledgeable, and we talked it through. And just a week ago, he texted me and told me he got his first shot. Patients of mine, you know, I'm a practicing physician. I now am able to get to them because there's that trust. And so I think what we need is really leadership. And leadership doesn't come from a job in isolation, right? Leadership comes from each of us going to our neighbors, our friends, your pastors, your community organizers, your doctors, your nurse practitioners, your PAs, your local reporters, and people who you know, and have that conversation. I agree, the misinformation is really causing a problem. Lack of leadership, frankly, has caused a problem, but all of us can be leaders.
How do you have the conversation with someone that is so resistant to getting a shot?
I think the one thing that is really, really important is we all need to put aside our biases when we approach somebody who is like that, right? For me, the very first thing is sincerely to ask why. Is it because they had a loved one who had a bad reaction and it worries them? Is it because they had a bad reaction themselves to another vaccine at some point? Is it because they are torn because they see some of their friends really ostracizing those who get a vaccine? Or is it because they have this horrendous misinformation and this lack of individual thinking that has led them to this groupthink? I think you need to know why, right? Mm-hmm. As a physician, when I come across a patient, any this medical decision, that's how I start my conversations. And all of us can do that. All of us have biases. All of us judge if we're not careful. And I think we all need to recognize that, and we need to just put that aside and figure out why, and then help that person get to what I think is the right decision of getting a vaccine and providing the information they need in a less judgmental opinion. The other thing is the same people who are not getting the vaccine for many different reasons are the same people who are getting sicker. So it could be these people get sick, get the virus, and rather than early on talk to their healthcare provider or maybe get monoclonal antibodies, they'll blow it off because COVID's not a hoax. COVID causes real problems. Mm-hmm. And so part of it also could be people are coming in later too because they think it's not as serious as it is. This can be serious. Talk to healthcare providers when you get it and get some direction on what you need to do. If you're having a fever that is really uncontrollable, go to your healthcare provider. If you're just feeling really lousy, go to your healthcare provider. We're all here to help. Like, that's literally what we spent decades of our lives to do. And no hospital or healthcare provider will turn their back on you. We never have, we never will.